Hi, my name is Lucy Shove, and this is my presentation on Bacon's philosophy that knowledge is power and its implications in modern society. So, a little bit of background on Sir Francis Bacon. He was born in 1561 and he died in 1626. In his early life, he was born in London, the son of Sir Nicholas and Anne Bacon. He was educated at home in his early years due to poor health, and this health would stick with him throughout his life. He received his tuition from a man named John Walsall, a graduate of Oxford with a strong belief in Puritanism. Bacon entered Trinity College, Cambridge, at the age of 12, living there for 3 years under the personal teachings of Dr. John Whitgift. Bacon's education was taught mostly in Latin and followed the medieval curriculum. It was at Cambridge when he first met Queen Elizabeth, who was impressed by his intellect. His studies brought him to the belief that the results of science were mostly incorrect. Francis Bacon was one of the leading figures in natural philosophy and in the field of scientific methodology in the period of transition from the Renaissance to the early modern era. As a lawyer, member of Parliament, and Queen's Counsel, Bacon wrote on questions of law, state, and religion, as well as on contemporary politics. That was from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. He also wrote several philosophies, one of them being the philosophy that knowledge is power. Some relevant events going on in his time. Shakespeare was at his peak. His plays were being performed regularly. Other playwrights also produced works searching for the success and fame that Shakespeare received. In 1592, plague broke out in England. Theaters were closed because of the rapid spread of disease. Over the next year, about 17,000 people died. Scientific and political breakthroughs occurred in the late 1500s and early 1600s. For example, Parliament passed the Vagabonds Act, introducing the penal transportation of convicted criminals to England's colonies, and England granted rights to the Virginia Company to settle parts of the east coast of North America. So this philosophy, knowledge is power, the phrase ipsa scientia potestas est, meaning knowledge itself is power, occurs in Bacon's Meditationes Sacrae and Human Philosophy. This was written in 1597. Some meanings. So in Bacon's time, he was dealing with kings and queens, their power and the knowledge that they had based on their political knowledge and their knowledge of foreign affairs. Establishment of scientific leaders. Most scientific leaders had to be knowledgeable to be considered a leader of science. Philosophers and their influence. Philosophers' influence on society depended on their background. If they went to college, an uneducated philosopher may not receive as much respect as an educated one. Some modern implications. The meaning of success. Is power success? Do those two things equate? For some people, knowledge, they don't necessarily have to be the smartest man on earth to be successful, yet some people consider being knowledgeable as being successful. Politics versus education. Many people in our government in today's world are not as educated as they should be, in my opinion. So do you need to have a good education to really be a world leader? And you need to be educated in a certain way to be a leader. The definitions of power and knowledge are very, very wide open. There's no set definition for each. To one person, power may be the president of a club, and to another, power may be the president of the United States. There's just many implications, and with that knowledge, there is such a broad term for knowledge. Knowledge cannot be dulled down to just political knowledge or just artistic knowledge. There are many scopes of knowledge that may be covered and that may be applicable to the definition of power. And these are my resources.